Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico.
Don't ask questions you aren't prepared to handle the answer to.
And today we're here to finish up another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. I'm sorry about the late delay. I was actually busy with a photo shoot. Oh, yes. As spring and summer are coming around, I'm getting booked for more hosting gigs and photo shoots. So this was a paid photo shoot for a company. I'm going to be in their advertisement. So I kind of had to prioritize that. But as always, I'm not going to leave y'all hanging. I'm going to give you your content. If you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, be a part of the live streams where we have multifaceted conversations with a varied panel. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. This Patreon exclusive, we will be going into detail about a collaboration that I had that kind of changed the way I viewed somebody and how I went going forward with collaborations. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. And last video's comment was basically saying not Ray Potts again. And I know he's probably going to crash out. I understand that, but at a certain point, even though I understand where you're coming from, we've had multiple conversations. I know he's a good person deep down. I can't condone scamming and like misleading your customer base with smoke and mirrors. That's just something I don't do. But now that we got it out of the way, let's get started on the actual conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about going from Beefcake Hunter to behind bars. What are you talking about? So, there's been this terrible AI trend where people have been turning images into Studio Ghibli movie images. And I say terrible AI trend because as of right now, AI is not properly mitigated when it comes to the damage it does to the environment. So y'all are like frying the coral reefs to be a part of some trend. And that's why I'm like, okay. Point is, they made an anime version of this meme. If you do not know who this is a fairly popular beefcake from the Beefcake Hunter series. If you do not know who Beefcake Hunter is, he is an elderly Latino man that basically goes around finding straight and or DL men that are on hard times and getting them to record super happy adult fun time content with him for usually, I believe he said $500 to $800 per film. So when you see a lot of these people collaborate, it's been exposed that straight men who are friends with celebrities have collaborated with him. Men who are married or in relationships have collaborated with him. One of the popular ones is rebranded as like a Christian, super Christian savior, that kind of energy. So it really depends. But as you can tell, a lot of these men are not proud of what they did with him for the sole fact that they were simply strapped for cash and he offers you an easy way to get a paycheck. And it's always funny how people come online and go, I don't understand how gay for pay is a thing and you have to secretly be gay. First and foremost, we've talked about on my channel, there are ways to be ready to film even if you are not attracted to the partner that you're partnered with. I've talked about, obviously, Viagra, but then there's another thing that is called Trimex, which is an injection. Porphy Maximus talked about it in one of his videos that I covered, and it's basically where it's like liquid Viagra that makes you ready no matter how you feel about it. So that's why when people are like, oh, if you're filming with a man, you have to be gay. As someone who works in the industry and I've seen straight men actively just boing because they took a shot, that's why it's not difficult for me to conceive that some of these men are actually straight and just need the money. If you do not know who this beefcake is, his name is actually Marcel Swanson. He is famous because, first and foremost, very handsome man, hairy, cute, all that under the sun. But in his film, he was too excited and the film was abruptly ended at the beginning. And it's become a running meme because he made the cutest face when he was alerting Beefcake Hunter that it was about to come to the end. So he basically went viral for that moment. And after that, he went ghost. No one has seen him in another film. No one has really heard about his name. But because of this AI art trend, somebody was like, oh, girl, did you hear what happened? So I found the news article and the police report. Nico! Basically, he is behind bars, but possibly free by now. Let me go into deeper detail. So in 2019, he and I'm assuming his brother, Marcus Swanson, were both arrested in the connection to a pew-pew situation in Wilmington, and from there the charges begin to be listed. His brother was charged with a burglary that happened earlier that day and also one that happened on March 26th, along with the firearm being in his possession when he is not supposed to have it, and then the ending pew pew pew. As for Marcel, he was hit with conspiracy charges, with first degree charges, and also carrying when he was not supposed to have it on his person. So from there, he was sentenced to minimum 4 years. He was scheduled to get out in December 2023. That's why I say at this point he is possibly still on the streets and roaming about doing his life. I couldn't find anything about him beyond that. And it could cause an overall conversation of the industry genuinely is used by some people as a leg up when you are in financial binding. I mean, we talked about it when I did that deep dive into Fat Daddy, where he basically came out and said the only reason he joined the adult industry, especially because he is a straight man and was doing gay for pay, was because his aunt suggested to him that he joins because it is lucrative, fast money. He even went into detail saying that when he actually bottomed for Tiger Tyson in the Take Him Down series, he only did it because they offered him a large sum of money and he needed to pay his legal fees. So a lot of these straight men that we would see in our cinematography back in the day, it's not like they just fancied, oh, let me try something on camera. A lot of these men were strapped for cash, and the industry pays you more as a man if you do gay adult cinematography. So I wanted to sit down and ask you guys, now that we know that it is possible to force a filming, now that we know that so many of these men are actually straight, has it altered your view on gay for pay? Because a lot of people would say, oh my God, I don't know, because you could never offer me a certain amount of money that would make me do something I don't want to do. And I always have to sit back and think, do y'all actually understand what poverty is? Nico, what do you mean? As someone on my dad's side, I have like a litter of siblings. And when I say a litter, I mean a litter. So when we were growing up, rice and gravy would be dinner. Sometimes we would get one hot and spicy from McDonald's. It comes to a point where you need money and you have no options but to do what you have to do. So that's why it always baffles me when so many people doubt the fact that a lot of these gay for pay performers, yes, some are lying, but especially in the early 2000s and the 2010s, where we saw these more traditionally straight men do 1 to 2 scenes and then fade out, it was genuinely because they were strapped for cash and was in a dire situation. So I just wanted to lay this out on the line because first and foremost, I didn't know where he went, so this is an amazing where are they now? But also it goes to show you that a lot of these men really were just trying to get a leg up from the situation that they were locked into. So now that we've gotten this out of the way, I want to hear your opinions down below. Did you know that that's where he went? Had you heard about his crime and how he got sentenced along with his brother? Or is this the first you're hearing about his whereabouts? Do you believe that it is possible, especially with medical enhancements, to properly do gay for pay, seeing as how a lot of people believe I would never let somebody touch me that I did not want to touch me no matter the cost, but you really don't understand the necessity and importance of getting that money until you are at rock bottom and you need that money. Because Fat Daddy himself said the reason he bottomed was because he was either going to get this money for a proper lawyer or he was going to jail. So sometimes you really are back against the wall and you're like, girl, I gotta do what I gotta do to get what I gotta get. But now that that's all out of the way, before I continue to ramble, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all and I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Chris Starr and A. Brian W. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you for the continued support, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. And this week's slashing discussion is going to be a watch party for Noah's Ark. Last week we watched episode 1, and this week will be episodes 2 and 3. If that sounds interesting to you and you want to join the key, I'll see you there.